welcome to this, somewhat of a milestone, the 20th episode of Whoniverse Database. Since I guess this is a special sort of episode in a way, I thought I'd make it about the explosive intergalactic civil war fought between the Daleks during a big chunk of classic Who, including some expanded media elements as well. The origins of the Civil War can be traced all the way back to the Daleks' creation in Genesis of the Daleks. Fearing a time when the Daleks would conquer all of existence, the Time Lord sent the Fourth Doctor on a mission back in time to prevent the Daleks from being created, or at least slow or alter their development to make them less of a threat. While the Doctor only succeeded in slowing down the Daleks by about 1,000 years, this act has since been retroactively dubbed as the first shot fired in the Time War, so I guess that means the Time Lords technically started it. Not your best move, guys. The Daleks would eventually escape their home planet Skaro and commence their trail of destruction across the universe. Many centuries pass and the Daleks find themselves embroiled in a war with a race of humanoid robots called Movellans. With both races' fleets locked in an impasse because of their purely logical thought processes, the Daleks mount an operation to recover Davros from the ruins of an old Khalid city, hoping that he'll be able to break the stalemate and win them the war. Throughout these events, the Daleks are reluctant to let Davros help them, and Davros himself is disgusted by hearing that a Supreme Dalek has been elected as leader of his creations. The Dalek forces and Movellans on Skaro are destroyed, and Davros is cryogenically frozen on board a prison ship where he remains for the next 90 years. It's here where we see the beginnings of a possible faction of Davros loyal Daleks. During the 90 years Davros was imprisoned, the Movellans developed a deadly bioweapon that killed Daleks on contact. With this, they were able to claim victory over the Daleks. In response to this new viral threat to their survival, the Daleks employed a gang of mercenaries led by Charnel Gustav Lytton to attack the prison ship and rescue their creator, this time hoping he would find a cure for the virus. Davros immediately and secretly got to work on converting Daleks over to his side, officially declaring a conflict with the Supreme Dalek. The Fifth Doctor shows up and, after a brutal fight, wipes out the Daleks and their human clones intended to cause Earth's collapse. Davros escapes, having been infected with the Movellan virus, and goes into hiding on the planet Necros. Hijacking the galactic funeral home Tranquil Repose under the alias of the Great Healer, Davros creates a new army of Daleks totally loyal to him out of human tissue. Here we see the first instance of the Imperial Dalek casing with the white and gold colour scheme. Upon the Sixth Doctor's arrival at the facility, the Supreme Dalek forces attack and arrest Davros, now considered a criminal in Dalek lore. They take him away to stand trial, leaving his Daleks to be destroyed by a bomb detonated by Orsini, a Knight of the Grand Order of Oberon. While en route to Skaro, the Dalek ship transporting Davros crash lands on the planet Leth. Rescued by human colonists, Davros sets himself up with an alias, Professor Vaso, and attempts to create a new machine, a hybrid between human and mechanoid, called a Juggernaut. This scheme was, once again, brought to an end when the Sixth Doctor was recruited by the Supreme Dalek to stop Davros. Davros was then taken to Skaro successfully and put on trial. Sentenced to extermination, Davros is rescued by the Sixth Doctor and taken to Spyridon to recover. The Sixth Doctor talks to his enemy about his future destiny as the Emperor Dalek and attempts to lay the groundworks for a full-on civil war between the two main Dalek factions. When the Seventh Doctor arrives with the Supreme Dalek's renegades on Spyridon, there's a heated battle resulting in the death of the current Supreme Dalek and Davros' wheelchair being badly damaged, leading to him being put into an Empress casing instead. The war between the renegades led by the Supreme Dalek and the Imperials led by Davros continues for some time across the galaxy. The war concluded in November 1963 in Shoreditch, London. The major forces of both the Renegade and Imperial Dalek factions, led by the Supreme Dalek and Davros respectively, arrived on Earth having learned about the Hand of Omega, an ancient piece of Time Lord technology hidden on Earth by the First Doctor when he originally came to the planet. The Hand of Omega was a remote stellar manipulation device used to re-engineer stars built by Omega, one of the three founders of Time Lord Society. Whichever side secured the device would be granted access to the power of time travel. It's not clear how or why the First Doctor was in possession of the device and hid it on Earth, but presumably there was some kind of hidden plan that he had. After a heated battle between the two factions across the London district, including a devastating assault by the Imperials using the Special Weapons Dalek, the Seventh Doctor allowed the Imperials to take the Hand of Omega back to their ship. Communicating with the mothership, the Doctor discovers Davros to be the new Imperial Emperor. He pretends to beg Davros not to use the hand to engineer Skaro's son into a time machine, but Davros launches the device into the future and into Skaro's solar system. The Doctor had tricked the Daleks, however, as the device destroyed Skaro's son and by extension Skaro itself. Although in the novel War of the Daleks, the Dalek Prime claims that a decoy planet called Antolin was destroyed instead of Skaro. The Hand of Omega then returned to the 20th century and annihilated the Imperial Dalek fleets, with only Davros escaping. The Doctor then found the last survivor of the renegade Daleks, the Supreme, and convinced it to kill itself due to it having lost its home planet and purpose. After the war, the Dalek Empire fell into decline for quite some time. The renegades who survived the war eventually managed to re-establish themselves on Skaro and began calling themselves the Imperials, while the remnants of the Imperial faction were now viewed as the Renegades. For a long time after these events, the Daleks' activity in the universe was fairly small scale by comparison, and they wouldn't be involved in another major conflict until the last Great Time War. Well, that was the Dalek Civil War fought between the Renegade and Imperial factions. I hope you enjoyed this somewhat special episode of Whoniverse Database. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already. That is if you want to. Stay safe through the disaster that is 2020, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. See ya!